Hello everyone, and welcome to Questline, and welcome to the very first episode of a new segment I call the Psychosocial Forest. Now, what is the Psychosocial Forest? Well, in simple terms, this segment explores psychological phenomena, human behavior, and the relationship between the mind, the self, and the society we live in. Not in a lecture, not in a lab coat, not in a professor pointing at a blackboard, but as an ordinary man with a thirst for knowledge, trying to understand the world through a psychological lens. Because sometimes the things we experience every day, our beliefs, our fears, our comforts, are not just personal, they are psychosocial. And with that said, back to the video. Section 1. Shock and awe. What if the thing comforting you is also the thing distorting your reality? Now let's slow down for a moment. I'm not here to accuse anyone of being delusional. I would never dream of that. Instead, I want to ask something far more honest. Why do we as human beings cling to illusions, even when reality is standing right in front of us? Is it weakness? Is it ignorance? Or is it something far more human? Because if I'm being honest, illusion and delusion are not just philosophical words. They are part of our daily lives, our cultures, our coping mechanisms, and our survival. And the uncomfortable truth is this: you cannot understand reality without first understanding the role of illusion in the human mind. Section 2. Definitions and Latin origins. Now, before we go deeper, we must first understand the foundations. The word illusion comes from Latin illusio, which means to mock or to deceive perception. Illusion is when your senses misinterpret something real. For example, seeing a shadow and thinking it's a figure, hearing something and misjudging the source. Reality exists, but perception is slightly distorted. Now compare that to delusion, from the Latin deludere, I hope I'm pronouncing that properly, meaning to mislead the mind. A delusion is not a sensory mistake. It is a fixed belief held despite clear evidence. So in simple terms, illusion equals to error of perception, delusion equals to error of belief. And this distinction is psychologically critical, because one happens in the eyes, the other happens in the mind. Section 3. The human brain. Data, not truth. Now here is where it gets truly fascinating. The human brain does not wake up and say, "Today I prioritize truth." No. The brain's first priority is survival. Think about a newborn baby. A baby cannot differentiate between safety, danger, truth, and illusion. It simply gathers data through sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. Everything is just information. But what does this mean? It means our understanding of reality is not purely individual. It is taught, it is guided, and it is inherited. As the saying goes, it takes a village to raise a child. That is not just cultural wisdom, that is psychological truth. Because without guidance, the mind does not automatically choose accuracy. It often chooses stability. Section 4. Why humans need illusions. The Goldilocks principle. Now here's the uncomfortable part. Mild illusions are not always harmful. In fact, it can be necessary. Let's use history. During the Second World War, soldiers faced unimaginable reality: death, fear, moral conflict, and uncertainty. And yet, what kept many of them moving forward was hope, optimism, and simplified narratives. These were, in a psychological sense, protective illusions. Not lies, not madness, but emotional buffers between overwhelming reality. Now think of it like the Goldilocks principle. Too much brutal reality equals to psychological collapse. Too much illusion equals to cognitive distortion, but just enough that creates resilience. Not too hot, not too cold, just right. Section 5. Modern Society, the Illusion Marketplace. Now let's bring this into modern society. Today, we are not lacking information, we are drowning in it. News, social media, opinions, algorithms, and competing narratives. It becomes a psychological needle in a haystack. And here's the danger. We are now living in an era of illusion saturation. Too many versions of reality, too many narratives competing for attention, and too many voices claiming truth. This creates confusion, polarization, and mental overwhelm. And when the mind is overwhelmed, it retreats to the comfort zone. Familiar beliefs, familiar narratives, and familiar illusions. Not because people are foolish, but because the brain is trying to protect psychological stability. Section 7. Pop culture and reality collision. Let's look at culture. Take The Matrix, a world where humans choose a comfortable illusion over a harsh reality. Or Don't Look Up, a film where society ignores a catastrophic truth because accepting reality is too uncomfortable. Now let's look at real life, the COVID pandemic, climate change warnings, and mental health crises. In each case, reality was present, data existed, and evidence existed. And yet, society responded with denial, distractions, and narrative conflict. Why? Because raw reality without preparation can feel psychologically overwhelming. Section 7. The soup metaphor. Now let me explain this in a simple way. Imagine your worldview as a soup. The ingredients are experiences, culture, beliefs, narratives, illusions, and reality. You choose the ingredients, but society also influences the recipe. One person's truth soup may taste balanced to them, but to someone else, it could be too bitter, too sweet, or too distorted. This is why collective understanding matters, because reality is not just individually processed, it is socially interpreted. Section 8. The final balance, yin, yang, and maturity. So now we return to the core question. Should we eliminate illusions entirely? Honestly, that would be psychological chaos. Humans are not machines. We are emotional beings navigating a complex and often painful world. Instead, the real goal is maturity. Not blind illusions, not brutal reality, but intentional balance. To consciously ask, which illusions protect well-being? Which illusions distort truth? And which beliefs are ethical? Because the true danger is not illusion itself, but weaponized illusion. Illusions used to manipulate, to divide, to control narratives, and to distort societal perception. Section 9. Final reflection. The Psychosocial Forest conclusion. If I'm being honest, illusion and reality are not enemies. They are part of the same psychological ecosystem. Like yin and yang, like day and night, and like comfort and growth. Children begin in exploration. Adults must learn discernment. Society must grow in psychological maturity, not to destroy illusions, but to regulate them. Because the question is no longer, do illusions exist? The real question is, are the illusions we live by helping humanity grow, or slowly distorting our reality? Well, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for listening. And if you enjoyed this deep, reflective exploration, leave a like and subscribe to Questline. And if you have your own thoughts, your own interpretations, or even your own theories about illusion and reality, leave them in the comments below. And if possible, share this channel with everyone. And until the next time, stay strong, stay curious, and keep forging your questline. Wishing you well and good health. Take care. And cut, that's a wrap! Woo!